Jeff Harold with Lake County Art League, and I'm talking to artist Kathleen Kalinowski, and we're going to talk about her work today. Hello, Kathleen. How are you?
Hello, Josh. How are you? I'm doing great, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, before we started this recording, we were having little conversations of our own. But I want to start off with one thing. All right. And I forewarned Kathleen that I was going to do something that might surprise her a little bit. But I am entirely jealous of her. And I'll tell you why. Because if you go to her website and you see the her bio, uh, this thing really makes me jealous. Okay. Uh, Impressionist painter who is deeply captivated by the light, atmospheric colors of the landscape. Uh, Her passion for painting en plein air directly from nature allows her to fully immerse herself in the beauty around her, interpreting, capturing its essence in her work. Kathleen's plein air paintings enrich her studio work by preserving the memory poetry of a particular place and time, ensuring that her studio pieces retain the vividness and immediacy of her outdoor experience. Now, the next part is really what makes me really jealous, okay? A lifelong resident of West Michigan, Kathleen's home and studio are harmoniously integrated into the natural settings, featuring a pine forest, a perennial garden, and a pond flowing into the Rogue River. Uh, I'm sorry. I don't know how many people besides me would love that setting. And I think it
Mhm.
would be very inspiring. You
It is.
you paint a lot just from right around your area there, your house and the pond and everything.
Yes. Yes, I do. The pond is actually a man-made, like kind of like small lake. And it started out as a pond and then they built houses. But I have done many, many paintings of that pond because I can faces the west. And you just leave out the houses. I've learned to edit through all my years of painting, and so I use it for inspiration. And the woods in the back, I painted many, many times, either right in the woods, or in my house looking into the woods, you know, in all seasons. So it is very inspiring, and I have a perennial garden. That's my other joy is painting.
Yeah. I actually, our house backs up to a wetland, so we get a lot of wildlife and scenes.
Oh,
However,
that's nice.
we're
Hmm.
supposedly on a lake called Lake Marie, and I kid people about saying we have a water view, and we have one window
Hmm.
that if you go up to it in winter when the leaves are gone, and you do one of
Hmm.
these, you can see this little sliver of the lake, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
that must be wonderful having a pond and everything right there to
It
use as a
is. It really
subject.
is, and it's. Yeah, I use it as a subject. I walk by it every day. I get so much inspiration. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the one thing I noticed wasn't really in your bio there is how did you get started in painting? What's your background?
Oh, well, I've been painting professionally for over 30 years, so a lot has happened. I started out, I think I was first inspired in fourth grade, for drawing.
Wow.
And yeah, and then it just kind of progressed through high school, college. I ended up going into graphic design because everybody said you can't make a living as an artist, as a painter. And this was back, I don't know how, I don't want to date myself, but it's been a
can't
while.
be can't be any farther back than me. I mean,
Oh,
I was there when fire was invented. So
no, it's been a while. Yeah, so it was in the early 90s when I really started to get going. And I guess I can officially say I was a professional artist in the early 90s because one of the top galleries in Grand Rapids asked me to be in the gallery, to be represented by them. And I was accepted into the Pastel Society of America. And I just kind of went from there. And then along all that time, I had four children, and my husband worked nights, but he was a big supporter of what I was doing because It made me happy, of course,
Yeah.
but also it became a second income, and uh, it, and it's just been good for me because I just love art and I love to paint. So we did all the we went through art fairs. I enter every show I can. I don't do art fairs anymore because that got to the got old. Right, we actually quit the art fairs right before COVID hit, and that was good timing. But I'm represented by two really good galleries in Michigan, and I paint almost every day. If I'm not painting, then I'm drawing or researching or
Yeah.
just doing something related.
Yeah.
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 We,
That's.
when we move, yeah. Oh,
I was just gonna say it's nice when you're married and you have a spouse that totally supports
mm-hmm.
you. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell the same thing I told you about Bob Burridge, because I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how many people watched the interview I had with him. But yeah, one of the things I forget what it was. It was something like insurance or accounting or something he was in, and he was just miserable. And one day, his wife, who was a model and was running a modeling agency, uh,
Mm-hmm.
asked him. He said, "What would you like to do if you didn't have to work?" And he
Mm-hmm.
said, "I would like to get up in the morning and start painting and paint until I go to bed every day." And she said, "Fine,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're going to do." So, she had the income to
That's
support him,
awesome.
and she became his manager too. It was such a wonderful story because when we did the demo, she was there operating the cameras for him from his end.
Wow. Wow.
So it
That's
was great.
ideal. That is
Yeah,
ideal. Yeah,
yeah,
it is. Yeah, I mean, when you're doing it on your own, you have to learn some time management. You have to be dedicated. You have to like really want to get in the studio or your painting space every
yeah,
day.
yes,
You really or outside, like in the good weather, I'm outside a lot.
yeah,
So
yeah. Same here.
yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it's just I've met so many artists that that's basically the case. Either their spouse is very supportive of what they're doing, uh, to
Mm-hmm.
help them do what they're doing, and or they're also artists. Tom Crouch's wife,
Right.
I forget what her name is. She's a excellent artist in her own right, and so
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
they both do it, and that's the way they make their living. And
Sure.
it's wonderful. It's great. So
Mm-hmm.
I have another friend, Phil Shorn, who's a colored pencil artist, well known. He's
Mm-hmm.
in national magazines and stuff and shows, what have you. And his wife is a nurse, but she fully supports what he does. Um,
It's not easy. You have to have a good work ethic, and
yeah.
you just can't sit around
Yes.
and make a
Yes.
living at art.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's true. Unless you're retired and can afford to spend the time, you need to worry about the money. So, well, that's good. So, uh, excuse me. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to do is, well, I'll talk about this when we go to your website. Okay, something we already talked about. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
let's, let's see. So, uh, yeah, there was something else I was going to ask you. Now I don't remember what it was. Old age, I guess. The train does,
That's
train
it.
doesn't always stay on the tracks, but
No, it doesn't. Especially us creative types. The
yeah.
mind's always going from one subject to the next, and
Oh yeah,
it's hard
yeah.
to stay on track. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about. I know there were the three pictures of yours that I had in the intro screen, and I
Okay.
said I wanted to talk about this one uh, because this is what I find interesting. First of all, I love the little cabin and everything. I mean, just the way you've painted it, and everything.
Oh,
And
thanks.
you also, it's also uh, is layered. Okay, so you have the flowers, the
Uh-huh.
wildflowers in front. Okay, then you have
Uh-huh.
the cabin, then you
Mhm.
have a little hill behind, then you have trees, and it's layering
Mhm.
is one of those things that I really enjoy, and they stress it in even in photography. We look for things where we can
Yeah.
layer it because it gives dimension
Yeah.
to the work.
Sure. Yeah.
But the other thing I
Mhm.
like, and uh, when I teach composition in my photography class, one of the things I point out is you have the rule of thirds, and I
Mhm.
liked this one because it's not quite the rule of thirds. And it's
Mhm.
fitting because you've got it almost centered. It's not really centered, but it's close to centered. And you follow rule of thirds or one of those things, and it's to give motion, visual motion to the picture.
Yes.
But if you're
Mhm.
photographing something or you're painting something, I was talking about photographing a tree in the fog. Well, there's no movement,
Yeah.
it's definitely still. So in order to give that feeling into
Mhm.
the picture, you put the tree in
Mhm.
the center and then, the fog covers everything else. And in this case, I
Mhm.
like your positioning with this very much.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you. Yeah. It was a challenge because this was a plein air piece.
oh,
So
wow.
I was there. I mean, I was there in this field. It was, middle of summer. It was hot. And I really wanted to paint this. It's a granary. And the owner of the property, he let us paint wherever we wanted on this property. And so I'm standing there looking at how can I fit this greenery, this image, this building, and my 9 by 12 canvas. And so I also always use a rule of thirds, but like I was mainly concerned of where's the peak of the roof going to fit, and that is kind of on the third. And so everything else kind of fell into place after I made that decision. And then the decision of the like a little path coming up through the wildflowers from the
Yeah.
bottom left going up on the diagonal. So I wanted some diagonals in there. That's for the hills. The hills were actually there, but of course I had to do some editing, to make it look good and to have the overlapping work, especially with the roof line. And I didn't want any tangents. And the
Yeah.
wildflowers helped a lot. Of course, I exaggerated with the wildflowers too, because when you're a painter, you can do
Oh,
that.
oh
With
yeah.
photography, you have to kind of take it the way it is. But with a painter, you can, like, I could make that sky a sunset sky, or I could have made an early morning sky, or whatever kind of sky I thought would
Yeah.
be fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
like, I really
actually,
like the lonely. Yeah, I like the lonely mood of it. That's what I was kind of going for.
yeah. And you got that. And the diagonals that you got in there really, they add some motion
Mm-hmm.
to it or direction to it. So,
Sure.
so
Yes, yes.
it's
Mm-hmm.
good. So I really like
Yeah.
that.
Well, thanks.
All right. And then you made a comment. Uh, Hang on. Here's another one from the intro screen. Uh,
Mm.
that's great. Is this a pastel or is this oil?
This
I
is an
had
oil. This is a
okay.
small oil. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes I work from memory, and this is one of them. This is not. I did not stand there and look exactly at a spot like this. I
Yeah.
used the lake, the pond across the street as my first start. Since we're facing the west, the moon, sometimes sets to the west, depending
Yeah.
on, and of course, then I get the sunset too. So this is mostly a setting sun, and I just used a combination of ideas from my plein air experience last summer, and I was kind of interested in showing like the dusk, maybe fireflies, so there's little white dots, and just kind of a dusk scene. So it's all made up, and I used my sketchbook to work out these kind of ideas
Yeah.
before I paint. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something you recommend to students using a
Oh,
sketchbook?
definitely. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I've got my sketchbook's like my best friend. I just have a little 5 by 8 sketchbook, and I do little thumbnails, like little like 1 by 2 drawings. I try to make them in proportion to the canvas that I'm thinking of using.
Uh-huh.
And then I take that little thumbnail and I divide it into thirds. So if I like my thumbnail sketch or sketches, I should say, I like to do multiple. And then I'll take the one I like the best and I'll transfer that design using the thirds onto my canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Well, that's nice.
that's basically how I do a lot of these paintings, especially the studio work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Speaking of studio work, I would imagine this was something you did in the studio as far as the
Yes,
setup.
but it's from life. Yeah, I set up a little
Yeah.
still lifes. This is a 6x6 oil painting, and I have a collection of still life props that I use, and yeah, every once in
Yeah.
a while I'll get into the mood of doing these little still lifes because I like to work from life. And working from life is like the best practice. That's why plein air painting is so good. And working from still life or doing a self portrait or whatever anything you can do to work from life
Yeah.
or go to a model sketch. That's the best practice you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I agree.
mhm,
Well, being a
yeah,
photographer, I do a lot of things from life. So I've done some
sure.
digital work where I've created some characters, what have you, for my wife's book. But basically,
Mhm.
I take real life and then I'll play with it to make it look
Mhm.
impressionistic or just to enhance it. I had one of an Oreo in a tree, and I enhanced it to the point where the judge at the show was actually thought it was a painting,
Oh,
and
neat. Yeah,
so
sure.
which was my intent, to do that. So
Hmm. Yeah.
okay, all right, all right. Okay, let's see. Let's see how we're doing this. Okay, let's. I'm going to go to your website.
Okay.
Okay,
Ah. Hmm.
uh, and the software is a little bit weird. I gotta. Uh, oops.
So this one is a plein air pastel.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So
I wanted to start
yeah,
with your
that's
homepage
okay.
here. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, it's nice. I like some of your work on here.
Hmm. A
Okay.
lot of them are plein air. That's a plein air painting.
Yeah.
That's a plein air.
Now, when you say plein air,
Pastel.
no, I know that. Are you actually completing
Yeah.
the work there, or are you doing a basic
Yes.
sketch of it and then
No,
completing it?
I actually complete it.
Ah,
Occasionally I'll have to touch up in the studio, but I actually complete, yeah, as much as possible. That's a studio piece,
yeah.
and
Very
that's a plein
nice.
air piece. That's in my front yard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do a lot of editing though too. I mean, it's um, oh,
Excuse
there's
me.
yeah.
Got a little bit of cough
These are my
here.
collection. These are my
Yes.
collections of work.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I love these. The ones with the trees and
Hmm.
stuff. I actually, in my photography class, we actually do field trips, and I have one place, a park around here, that has trees, and I
Hmm.
take them into the woods, and I have them shoot things like this, compositions
Yes,
with the trees,
yes,
because they are something
yes.
that is just sort of common. You
Yeah,
know,
all right.
it's
Yeah.
some things are more commonplace, or how do they say it, iconic or whatever, just
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
they make good pictures, and people enjoy it.
Sure, sure,
And so
sure. The same,
it,
yeah.
when I try
The
to do
same with
those,
water. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, what I try to do is I will keep away from what I figure are the standard shots. We go up to Door
Hmm.
County every year, and there's one road back there that's just I call them a squiggly road. It's just got curve after
Uh-huh.
curve, and you look down it, and you go anywhere up there, and you see you see all sorts of pictures of this
Oh yeah.
section of road in the autumn or in the winter.
Right.
And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
last time we were up there, I drove through it. I refused to take a picture of it just because I don't like to do the same thing everyone else does, And
Sure,
we're
sure,
driving
yeah.
through it, and there are cars parked along the road, people getting out and taking pictures of this section of the road, and it's like, okay, have fun with
Oh,
that.
that
I
sounds
want
like a
something
place.
unique.
That sounds like a place. Yeah, I'd like to go there to paint. But there's a similar location in northern Michigan in Leelanau County.
Really?
Leelanau County is just gorgeous. Oh, Leelanau County rivals Door County, and I've been to Door County once, and I was impressed. I really liked it, but Leelanau County is, I think, just as good.
Yeah,
And yeah, a lot. Of course, there's more beaches and that kind of thing. A lot of rolling hills and but it's like all those places are starting to get developed, unfortunately.
yeah.
And so I look back at some of my older work, and some of those places are no longer there. They don't even look like that anymore.
Oh,
So it's
yeah,
it's kind of sad, and it's sad in a way. So us artists are kind of documenting how the landscape used to look in some places.
yeah. And that's one thing what I sort of like. And when I first started teaching photography back in the late '90s, uh, I had uh, a class that was just landscape and travel photography, is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd
Mm-hmm.
start off with showing them a selection of pictures, like 6 or 7 pictures. And
Mm-hmm.
I asked, and one was a lake and a shoreline with the trees and everything. One was an older woman, actually my grandmother. Uh, what were some of the other ones? I forget what some of the other ones. Anyways, and I asked them, these things all have one thing in common. Tell me what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of them with color. I had a black and white, so they weren't all color pictures. They weren't all landscapes or anything like that. And they couldn't figure out what I was getting at, and that's fine because I wanted them to realize it when I said it. You will never be able to take these pictures again. This lake with
Mm-hmm.
these trees and the picnic bench, anything, that's no longer there. It got
Mm-hmm.
drained by a gravel pit. All right.
Right.
That woman
Right.
is my grandmother. She passed away, 3 years ago. All right. And I just
Mm-hmm.
went through all of them. And all of them were pictures uh, that just, you'll never see again. I had one from when we used to go to Jackson in Wyoming. And we go up to
Oh,
Jackson Lake. And I did that before I was married. I did a lot. Every year I'd go out that way. And there's one view of the Grand Tetons from the other side of the lake. And I took that,
mhm.
and it's sort of like a little bar of land or something, a little ways out in the lake. And there were like
Yeah.
3 pine trees growing there.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. And I took that picture, and it's a great picture. I love it. Matter of fact, I'm looking at it right now here in my
Mm-hmm.
showroom here or whatever. And I went back when we went there for our honeymoon, and those trees are no longer there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that
Uh-huh.
view with those trees, actually, there are 4 of them, and it was it's just a beautiful view.
Right.
And like I say, and like you said,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of this stuff, you do a painting of it, what have you, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
back and it's no longer there,
Mm-hmm.
you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
for me, that's my impetus for some of the photography that I do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is to, save the place, so
Right.
to speak.
Yeah, and I think a lot of artists are worried always about being original and finding your style. Well, I think it's just finding your style is just a lot of hard work, trial and error.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to find your style in the first 1 or 2 years of painting.
Oh, yeah.
So like Monet or somebody said, don't call yourself an artist until you do your first 100 paintings. Well, I think it's more than 100 paintings or
Oh, yeah.
photographs. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
way more. Yeah, and so after a while, you just start to realize what speaks to you and what stirs your soul and what you just have to create in one way or another. And
Yeah.
that's how you start to find your style. And then you don't have to worry about being original because you are original.
Yeah.
Everything that you think, nobody else is thinking the same thing. You're original. And sure, you may have the same concept as maybe Rembrandt or somebody, but you're still original and using it in your own way. So I
Yes.
think that those two things get people, beginning artists get all worried about that. I was worried about it. I was worried for a while. How can I be original? How can I do something that, I don't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
You just end up to be. You just do.
Yeah. And that's why there's so many things I've learned as I've done photography, and one of the things I learned is that you take a lot of crummy shots,
Sure,
especially when you're
sure.
learning. And I used to go
Hmm.
out, like I say, I'd go out west and I'd shoot all these shots. And the bad part about that is that was film. It wasn't digital.
Film.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
then you come back, you can't see what you got until you have it developed
Right.
and printed. And by the time you do that, you realize that you just wasted a lot of money on some bad shots.
Sure, sure.
So you
And
start
time.
learning
And
more.
time. Yeah, yeah.
But
So
but the one
I'll put a different picture on the recording. Right now it's just my web page there.
oh, which one?
What are you showing right now on the recording? Just my website?
Just the website, yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was going to
So,
get into it. But anyways, one of the things I tell my class is that if you want to get better, you got to play with your equipment. You got to learn things. Take
mhm,
different study different things, different subjects. And
yes.
my thing is that I will do series, or what I call them portfolios or collections, and I'll do them
Mhm,
like I do woodland impressions, and that was woodland shots, outdoor shots, in
mhm,
impressionist view, and I'll do something like that, or night lights, something like that. I'll do until I get 10 good shots, 10 that I really like, and then I'll
mhm.
find something else. I'll continue to shoot those when I see them, the opportunities, but I won't
Yeah,
concentrate on. I'll concentrate on something
yeah,
else.
yeah.
So, anyways, all right. Let's look at.
Okay.
Whoops. Here we go. Come on. Okay. Here's
Yep, these are all recent. These are all recent paintings. Um, the first one I just finished.
Yeah.
So there are a few. There's a few pastels in there, like Into the Forest Primeval. Um,
Oh
that
yeah.
one's sold. That one's
That's
just
nice.
sold. That's a pastel, and then the one below that, Edge of Pond, is a pastel.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm. Um, so there's a few, like Poppies in June is actually a plein air painting, but I put it in this category. Sometimes I just don't know what categories to put them in.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh well.
but that's okay. And um, the figures, I took a workshop with oh gosh, forget her name now, at the Franciscan Life Process Center, which is a really good place to take workshops with
Yeah.
professional artists from all over the country, actually. So I was interested in painting the model in a landscape, and so this model walked around. She let everybody photograph her, so I just did some paintings for my photographs.
Yeah. This one I like in particular
Thanks.
because the model is doing something. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah, I
just
like that
I don't
one
know. I
too.
just like it. I like the composition. I like the way that the branch over her sort of forms a
Mm-hmm.
top for it's the same shape as
Yeah.
her body at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Some repetition of shapes. That's a pastel. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
And then the one in the middle of the autumn scene, that one I did in the studio here from a photo,
Is,
and a bunch of sketches that I did. That's the road that I live on.
oh, is that the hillside hollyhocks you're talking about?
No, and I'm talking about up the road a
This
bit.
one. Oh, okay. I see
Yeah,
it up
yeah,
the road a
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, the
Oh,
hillside hollyhocks. So I live fairly close to some farming communities, and a lot of rolling hills and beautiful scenes. So the Hillside Hollyhocks is a place I go to every July when, or maybe it's late August.
Yeah.
Oh wait, when is it? It is in August when the hollyhocks are out. This farmer plants hollyhocks alongside the road, and we go there every year and paint. It's like
Huh.
it's like a really great subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I sort of like that edge of a pond too. Edge of pond.
Yeah, that one was based. That one is a studio piece based on a plein air painting that I did. So the plein air painting sold, and I wanted to try it again and with different lighting, and so I painted again with pastel. So
Yeah.
I'll do that sometimes, so I can experiment both with oil and with pastel on the same subject, and they always turn out different. It's really kind of fun. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Excuse me.
the light through the cedar forest is an oil painting I just finished.
Yeah.
So I was plein air painting up in northern Michigan last year, and for a weekend out in the winter, and it was like a winter retreat. It was put on by the plein air artists of, what was it called? Plein air painters of West Michigan, and we I did like a whole bunch of plein air paintings that weekend. And while I was painting this creek, it was kind of overcast, and then all of a sudden the sun came out behind me, and it was the most beautiful lighting situation. So I
Oh
took a
yeah.
bunch of photos, and then I used my plein air work for cover, and then I used the photo though for the composition and the idea of the golden light coming through the trees, kind of like a backlit situation.
Oh
So
yeah.
that was kind of a challenging subject with all the fallen logs and
That's
the
nice.
feeling of winter. Yeah, it was. I
Nice
like it.
lighting.
So thank you. Yeah, thanks. And so the demo that I'm going to be doing for your group is the creek itself again, but facing the other way.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if that
Yeah,
was the same thing we're
it's
talking
just,
about doing on Monday
it
night.
is
So
it is the same creek, but it's going to be different lighting. It's going to be looking down the creek with some afternoon lighting and some more light and shadow, but a
yeah,
different view. Hmm.
yeah. Okay. Uh, what was the other one?
The plein air painting collection has a lot of paintings on that one. You probably
Yeah,
already
I was
noticed.
trying to remember where the one was that I wanted to talk about here, but
Which
uh,
one? What did it look
the
like?
one you and I were talking about before we started the interview here
Oh,
or
with
the
the trees.
conversation. Whoops. Yeah.
Winter. It might be in plein air painting. I think that was a plein air painting.
Yeah.
So you have to go down a bit to find it.
Yep. I got it.
These, yeah, a
I
lot of yeah, the top three are from my yard.
yeah.
Top four, and then yeah.
Hmm. I don't think this was the collection, but
Unless
anyways, what we were
yeah.
uh,
Unless it was in the my studio sale collection. Not sure. The first collection.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
maybe
it
that
might be
was
in
it.
there. Yeah, scroll down a bit. So I'm just trying. I've got decided to have this there. Well, no, that's the winter one. Um, I decided to have a little sale from some of my plein air work, and just trying to. I have so many paintings. There's
Oh,
that
this is
it.
there. This is well. This is basically the same thing that we were talking
Yeah,
about.
winter
Oh,
radiance,
here it
and then
is.
there's
Here it
another
is.
one.
Winter
Yeah,
Pines.
there it is. Winter.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. What we were talking about before we got into the conversation here uh, is
Hmm.
is how sometimes artists see the same subject and the same thing,
Hmm.
and no matter what medium you're in, uh,
Right.
there are things that attract your attention,
Hmm.
right? And I hope I don't mess this up here. And this one with winter pines, okay, it's like you know, I don't know. It's just it's a nice vertical
Hmm.
experience with the lines
Hmm.
and everything
Hmm.
and the snow and everything like that. And
Yeah,
this
that
is
was a
this is
plein air
this is
piece, and
not a
then
good.
yeah, that one, and then the other one above it was also a plein air
Yeah,
piece, standing on
yeah,
my deck,
yeah.
looking
But
into the woods.
yeah, what we were talking about is I'm just going to show my
Yeah,
picture here real quick, but it's basically
oh
the
yeah,
same thing, okay?
uh-huh, right.
And what I'm saying is a lot of times people will take the same subject and the same view of that subject and
Hmm.
take it and put it in maybe a different medium, but
Hmm.
it's still the same thing that everyone's looking at or people look
Well, it's the
at.
same,
So
yeah, the same concept, pretty
same
much.
concept, yeah,
Right. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and there's, with painting, there's a lot of editing going on. I don't know how much you can edit in your photography. I guess you can with, in your editing process. If you can take if you can take trees out and add trees, but the one thing with painting is I edit a lot just to make a good composition.
well, I'll usually try to do the composition in camera as much as possible,
Hmm.
but I
Yes.
very
Okay.
rarely will do anything. I will sometimes if the background is too sharp and I want it to be
Hmm.
blurry to indicate the depth of field in it.
Hmm.
I'll do that. So I will do some editing, but I have a separate category of work that I do that is more manipulation than just making it look better. I do some.
Yeah.
I'm doing bird photography right now,
Hmm.
and I will
Hmm.
take and there are some adjustments, but it's basically just to like the light levels and a little bit of the color and contrast, uh,
Hmm.
and sometimes a little bit of cropping because I don't, you know,
Right.
I evidently don't pay the birds enough to sit still long enough for me to do stuff.
Sure. Sure.
Uh,
Yeah. The moving models.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And they don't listen to me. I say stay. They don't. They just fly off. You know, so like our
Uh-huh.
cats used to be. Uh, but anyways, yeah, yeah. These are. I love these shots. And where was the other one? Let's do the still life here.
Yeah, I was on
So I had
doing those roses because my daughter just got married, and so I had all these bouquets of roses sitting around. So I thought, well, this is a good opportunity. I've got my models right there,
oh yeah,
and yeah. So these are all from life. I like to do all my still lifes are from life. I don't like to work from a photo with still life because what's the point? You want to have your subject right there so you can really observe the color and detail and whatever else you're
yeah,
trying to capture.
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Okay, and there's the we already talked about the radish and pewter,
Yeah.
and that was nice.
So
Uh,
I did that little
yeah, and
series.
this is the one I was talking about before. I really like this guy. Yeah, here, bring it up here.
Oh, that
Uh,
pastel.
yeah,
Yeah.
this pastel
Mm-hmm.
that is just wonderful.
Thank you. I don't have it framed. I should frame that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. It's actually a little more intense. The color's more intense than it's showing up online. But you can get the idea.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I like to go to the if I can't grow the flowers, then I go to a farmer's market and buy the flowers.
yeah. I
A lot
have
of them are.
yeah, I have a series of I photograph flowers and I did a series called Secret Life of Flowers, which was intentionally
Hmm.
to photograph the flowers in a way from a view that you don't see,
Sure.
normally don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take those. Sometimes I'll do those. I did one that was in a show recently and a bearded iris, and I call it
Oh,
impressionist
yeah.
bearded iris,
Hmm.
and it's absolutely beautiful. I love it, and it was from my garden.
Yeah.
So I all these flower shots I take are from my garden. There's
Hmm.
Chicago Botanic Gardens around here, but they're like an hour away, an hour or so away.
Yeah.
And so we have all these flowers in our garden that my wife loves,
Hmm.
and when they're in
Hmm.
bloom, I'll do it. But I did a whole series in a way that you normally don't look at flowers. And
Oh,
I had
yeah.
one where it was a black-eyed Susan. And black-eyed Susan, all you see are some of the petals and a little bit of the center, the black-eyed part of it. And then
Hmm.
in front of that is a bud, a big bud.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and and so I I concentrate on that view of it. So I wasn't really looking
Hmm.
at the flower itself, but at the bud, the beginning of it. I took first place in a photography contest, so I was sort of happy about that.
That's good. Yeah,
But
sure.
again, it was something different, a different
Hmm.
viewpoint.
Yes. Yes.
So,
That usually works, especially for a competition.
oh
You
yeah,
want to have something that's different.
yep,
Uh, Something with good contrast.
yeah.
So,
Anything on your
yeah.
website you want to talk about?
We could go to the Far From Home. So I've done a little bit of travel, not as much as I wanted to, or
Oh,
want to,
okay.
I should say. But my husband and I took a trip to Germany, and it was that was a painting
Oh
trip.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I'm sorry, I meant to talk to you about that too, because you've
yeah,
done a number of trips over to Europe, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, not a number, but a few. And then I went to Tucson uh, last April, and that was the first time I painted in a desert. So those are all plein air. So this Far From Home page is half plein air and half studio. And so the almost all my Ireland paintings have sold. So I went to Ireland. That was just kind of a family trip, and
Yeah.
but I did take a lot of good photos, and I did some paintings, and those most of them have sold. And then I went to the trip to Italy was a painting trip. So I did not only oils, but I did some watercolors,
Yeah.
and I also then my first painting trip was to France. I don't know if any of those are on the website or not. There might be one or two. But yeah, so it's just really, I think it's just inspiring to go to different locations.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I've I've gone out west in the past quite a few times, but not really on a painting trip, And I've gone to Maine. I think Maine and Montana are my two favorite spots to go back to paint in the United States. I just love those two states. And but I like Michigan too. Michigan's a wonderful state. There's so many, just so much, just everywhere you look. Oh yeah, there's some more Italy. So those are some of them are studio and some are plein air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love street scenes, things like this.
I like them too, and I have to do more street scenes. I was really inspired when we went to Siena and Florence, and I'm going to do a few more in the studio. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had one artist from, where is she? Texas or New Mexico, somewhere down around there. That
Uh-huh.
she was doing a street scene for us, and she has a book out on perspective lines. You know how you draw
Oh,
perspective lines, what have you,
oh yeah,
in
that would
order
be
to
sure.
in order to identify the key spots to place your subject or a subject.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a
Mm-hmm.
street scene. You're probably going to have multiple subjects. Okay, especially if
Right.
you got an outdoor cafe or
Mm-hmm.
something, you got someone at
Yeah.
the table there you might want, and then you have a window with the menu in it, something like that, and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, she has this book out. I wish I could think of her name. She's out there on our YouTube channel. But it was just amazing. It was relatively complicated from what you would normally use to draw perspective lines, but
Sure.
it made sense of what she was doing because you have a
Mm-hmm.
picture with a lot of people or a lot of subjects in there, you want to make sure that certain subjects you're, in a certain position,
Right,
where
right.
they make
Yeah.
most sense or make the
Hmm.
most impact or whatever. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
it was way too complicated for me.
Oh, I would have liked that. I would have, yeah, I would have liked that. Just to hear her. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
never,
Let me
you
look
can
it
always,
up.
yeah, I'd like to know what her name was. Maybe I
Let
can
me
help
look her
her
up,
out.
and I'll send you a
Okay.
link to her interview and her demo.
Okay. That'd be
All
great.
right. All right.
Sure. Sure.
I don't have anything to write on. Okay, I will try to remember
I'll remind you.
that. Please do. Okay. All right. Back to you and me.
Okay.
All right, that's good. I encourage everyone to go out to
Hmm.
your website and
Hmm.
take a look at it because there's some wonderful work out there and more
Thank you.
variety than
Thank
I
you.
thought when I first looked at it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's good. Okay,
Yeah.
getting close to the end here, and as I
Okay.
forewarned you, I'm going to
Hmm.
ask you if you have one or two or three tips for new artists or artists that are trying to get better. So,
Ah, well, the old adage of painting a lot, of course, sucks. But I'm talking about a sketchbook.
yeah,
So if you can see this, this is just
oh
one
yeah,
little page of my little thumbnail drawing. And
yeah,
I take, I think this is a handy way to do it. Like make these little cards or out of cardstock, and it's kind of like a little template. I have a square, I have different proportions, and then I do my thumbnails with these different proportions, and then I can divide it into the rule of thirds,
yeah.
and then
Let people see it a little
transpose
bit
that.
better.
Oh, that's good. And then
Yeah,
transpose the rule of thirds to my canvas. And so that is one really good. And if you do a lot of these, so here's a couple sketches of one of my paintings in the Far From Home page. So if you do a lot of, oh, there's my sheet.
yeah,
So if you do a lot of these, you like just in your spare time, look through your photos if you don't paint outside very much, and start to get ideas. And then from these ideas, you just do these little thumbnails, so you're not wasting a lot of time um, doing, starting a painting, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I don't really like that. How that I should have placed the horizon line in the lower third rather than the upper third. That kind of thing. You work out all your problems first with your thumbnail sketches, and then you have all these ideas that you can go back on. So sometimes when I'm thinking, what am I going to paint next? I'll start flipping through my multiple sketchbooks. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I should go back and paint this scene, maybe making it into a sunset painting or a sunrise, or making it another time of day, or slightly moving a tree. So you can do all that editing just in your sketchbook, and
yeah,
it just kind of keeps you motivated. It keeps me
yeah,
motivated. And then to always have my something on the easel, always, so that you always have something to come back to if you get interrupted. And you have to just have some time management. I think that's the
yeah,
main thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Not
Schedule your
everyone has
painting.
time to paint all day, so
No, not everybody, and I don't either. I don't have time to paint every day. But if I can get a couple hours in, I'm happy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense.
And then to learn to photograph your work yourself, and to start a web page. Like my web page is Facile Fine Art Studio Online. It's a very good website company. It's very intuitive, easy. They got these templates. You just take your photos of your artwork and you plug it right in, and you put in the information. So I
Oh,
highly recommend Fine Art Studio Online. It's FASO, FASO.
okay.
And so I highly
Can you send
recommend
me
it.
that? Can you send me
Mm-hmm.
that email
Yeah,
address? And I'll include it
sure.
in the description of this video.
Yes, yeah. I've used their website company for, I don't know, like 20 years now, I think. Yeah,
Hmm.
for a long time. And
Yeah.
yeah. So anybody
Okay.
that's just starting out with and they want to start a web page, highly recommend. Highly. And it's not that expensive.
Good. Good.
Mhm.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
deal. So, do you
Mhm.
have any shows or workshops or anything coming up? Or
Oh, I have a fun thing coming up. I'm going to take part in the Winter Escape with Streamline Publishing. They have this like winter retreat down in Savannah and Hilton Head, and it's going to be a week of painting down there, and
wow,
that's next month in February when the
wow.
snow is blowing here in Michigan. I'll be down and painting on the beach. So this is the first time I've actually tried one of their retreats, and I'll see if I like it.
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's sounds like fun, if nothing else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
My husband and I are right now trying to figure out where we're going to go next.
uh,
The next trip. Mm-hmm.
outside the country or inside the country?
Yeah, probably maybe both. Yeah. Our youngest daughter just got married, so we're empty nesters.
Ah,
So yeah, and so we're either going to go to Maine, Montana, France, or maybe Scotland for some.
uh, yeah, that's nice. We like
Mhm.
we're planning on going to uh, Arcadia National Park in Maine
Oh,
in the fall.
oh, I've been there. Oh,
So,
I've been there. It's gorgeous.
oh yeah,
Yes.
we were there. We were there a couple years ago, and unfortunately, uh, we were there for like a week, and it rained just about every day
Oh,
until the final
whoa.
day. The final day when we were about to, we needed to check out by noon or something like that, and
Yeah.
and I got up and it was like, oh, it's not raining, and there aren't clouds. It's a nice sunrise. So I'm out. I get in the car. I take off. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I'm over at this one beach
Mm-hmm.
and taking some pictures, and some of the probably the best pictures I got on that trip, just because of the
Sure.
weather. So this year we're hoping for something better than that as far as weather goes.
Are you, are you going to go in the fall again? In the
Yeah,
autumn?
yeah. It's our 25th wedding anniversary in the fall, so
Oh,
it's going to be
nice.
our 25th wedding
Mhm.
trip, I guess, what have you.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm looking forward to it.
That'd
Just
be
hope
nice.
everything works out.
Hey, maybe we'll see you there. We might go in the fall too. I'm
There you go.
excited.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let
Uh-huh.
us let us know. We'll let you know what time we're going, and maybe we can have dinner in Bar Harbor. That's where we're going to be staying, is in Bar Harbor.
Oh,
So
hey. Yeah, well, if we go, we'll probably take our trailer. I like to camp. I like to like be right in the
uh,
nature as much as possible. So that's probably what we'll do.
yeah, I used to do that in my younger days, but I got to the point where I couldn't sleep on the ground anymore, and I was doing backpacking and stuff like that. So a little
Oh
bit of car
yeah.
camping, but again, it's a tent and
Hmm.
sleeping on the ground, and it's like
Yeah, that's we can't do that anymore. No.
yeah. Okay, well,
Okay, Jeff.
I don't have anything else. We'll see you Monday
Hmm.
night for the demo.
Okay,
All right, and I will
sounds
say
good.
goodbye, and we'll
Okay.
see you on Monday.
Okay. Take care. Thanks.
All right.